Family, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. Hope you can absolutely hear me. Hope everyone is well. Let me just get my What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've been talking to myself. My mic has been muted. Let's get some music in the background as well. Put some drill on. Hope you guys are well, man. Hope you're well. I have today. See, is that too loud? Just get this out of the way. Yeah, let's turn the music down a little bit. Let me know if you're in the building. I know subscribers, I've just turned on subscribers only comments because of these bots, and I've deleted tons and tons of bloody bots. We got sound now. In Belter, hope you're well. Started off with a greetings to each and every single one of you. I hope you are well, my sister, you and your beautiful family. As always, family first channel, family friendly channel, and all good now. Yeah, big up to yourself, Madman, my brother. Big shout out to you. And I hope, yeah, I was muted, man, talking to myself. But anyway, I'm going to address a concern that has been shown by some of the Cocoro community, which is really, the question is, you know, are too many projects being shielded by the dev team? And I will answer that question for you today. Of course, Trump is always in the news, and we're going to talk about that. I have actually found an absolute banger of a gem in the Discord. I will be posting it at some point, so look out for that. I think I found a project that is able to print numbers because of the technology. And it's not something that I've spoken about publicly. It is an absolute gem, fully diluted valuation. It's a tiny micro cap, and I think we should do well with that project. As of late, you know, things have been going well, and it's just going to get more magical. Now, one of the things I would say is on the macro picture, there has been a lot of wars going on behind the scenes, none more so than Trump going to the Supreme Court. And this guy is going to be basically, and breaking news as well, he's just met with the Fed chairman, Powell, as well as the decision by a court to reverse the tariffs, and of course, that to be challenged. So I did actually make a post today. We have to be macro alert, because I do believe the community will be getting out at some point during the summer to re-enter the market again, should we need to do so. M2 money supply is ultimately leading the way. There has been some dips, and of course, Bitcoin's holding supremely well. So actually, Ethereum's looking even more juicier. We will look at some charts. We will look at some theories as well as to where our bull market's going to go. What I don't want to happen this time round is for the community to get locked in for longer than they need to, especially if we consider the Fed cutting rates towards the end of the year. Sorry, let me just turn this down. Yeah, especially if the Fed decides to cut rate. And of course, the one chart we need to keep our eyes on for alt season is Bitcoin dominance. Right now, Ethereum dominance is sitting around 9.6%. And I have no idea why the majority of the market doesn't really pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance, because really that is the strongest indicator that we're going to have an alt season. So yeah, I've put in a shift today, man. 3 videos, 1 live stream. You can't really ask for more than that at this point in time, because we are definitely putting the work in. Because I feel obliged. I feel like as much as we can, we need to notify the community. And this is not about there's some insanity going on in the market. I saw a Crypto Galaxy video the other day predicting Pepe doing a 100x from here, or whatever he said, 50x from here. Kaspa doing like 50x. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar to me. And that is exactly why a lot of people have suffered, because obviously you're looking for moon boy bags. And I would say I have actually learned a lot about just checking certain things, like when to take profit and when to really start selling these bags, even if it means we come back into the market. So right now we're seeing a Bitcoin that is sitting at 106. The question is, can we go to 90K? Of course, Ethereum dominance is also sitting at 9.64%. ETH is going to have a run, guys. And trust me, when ETH gets going, with all the metrics I'm seeing on various platforms, things are looking juicy. Now we're going to have a look at some of the key people in the administration. Of course, none more so than this guy here. So let me just share this with you. This is happening right now. This week is the Bitcoin conference.
Thank you all. Well, first of all, I want to thank. Please, thank you guys. Take your seats. And you know, the Secret Service is a little bit nervous because I told them these Bitcoin guys really like guns, but they really like the President and Vice President of the United States too. So I think we're doing okay. So I first have to thank David Bailey, grateful for everything that you've done for the Bitcoin community. Thanks in particular for what you did for me and the president, helping us get from candidacy to the White House, because we've done, I think, a lot of good in the past 120 days, and I don't think we could have done it without David's support. I want to also thank the Winklevoss brothers, Tyler and Cameron. These guys are out here somewhere. Who, I got to say, Tyler and Cameron, I think really helped break the dam in Silicon Valley. Because if you remember, you go back to June, and of course,
Fiverr's got talented freelancers.
So basically, he talks about the
team continued scaling.
I want to thank the good people at Coinbase, the organizers of this event, and everybody who made this incredible event possible. It's great to be here with Bitcoin at 108,000, at least when I checked this morning. And as Vice President of the United States, it's great to be here. Now, you guys know I get to meet a lot of exciting people in my job, but it's been quite a while since I've been to a conference with this level of energy. I mean, hell, you guys came out here at 9 a.m. after a long night, I'm sure, in Las Vegas. You can't do that without a lot of good energy. But I promise I'm not just saying that to juice my own meme coins. But I think it's wrong, actually, to call this just a conference. This isn't a conference of people. This is a movement, and I'm proud to stand with you here today.
So overall, market conditions, bearing market conditions, I don't think you're bullish enough on even meme coins, to be honest with you. This guy is sitting there at the Bitcoin conference, bloody talking about shilling his own meme coins, right? And one of the big mistakes that, investors make, anyway, this cycle, I was talking to a very good friend of mine who is a huge whale. And he was telling me one of his biggest regrets was not actually looking at meme coins, and not any meme coins. I think Solana is absolutely the worst when it comes to, you know, that PvP. Ethereum is where it's at. And all of a sudden now in my community, a lot of the discussions in the Discord is catching really good place. You know, tons of stuff that has been shared across. But this is quite interesting because you've got the Vice President of the United States talking about meme coins at the Bitcoin conference, right? So again, you know, I see a comment there from Mark, you know, Vance, even Michael Saylor looks more trustworthy than him. It's not really the trustworthiness, because obviously these people are pushing their own agenda. But this administration has clearly gone out of his way to actually send the market crashing and ultimately fill their coffers and send the markets up. This was quite interesting. And it comes off the back. I mean, again, you know, we've got this massive day of economic news, of course. Again, the talk in the Discord is the obviously next economic data that's about to come out. But Nvidia stock has absolutely gone wild, right? And of course, you have a record, you know, earnings. I don't know how they do it. They keep doing it, and they do it more often than you can imagine, right? So that's something we need to actually be aware of. Ultimately, where would the direction of our market go? But let's continue listening to this for a little bit, because again, let me just play that back for some of you who are joining now.
I promise I'm not just saying that to juice my own meme coins. But I think it's wrong actually to call this just a conference. This isn't a conference of people. This is a movement, and I'm proud to stand with you here today. And I think this conference, this movement of people, is where the future of cryptocurrency in this great country gets decided. So let's start by making one thing abundantly clear. That future is going to be decided by the people, by you, not by unelected bureaucrats. Now, as you all probably know, you've got a star-studded lineup here today, including several of my colleagues in the Trump administration. David, Bo, Hester, I know you're all out there. It's great to be among so many friends and allies. So I want to speak for just a few minutes about a few things, and I want to talk a little bit about what we've done in the Trump administration. I want to give you a rundown of what this administration is doing on digital assets policy. But I also want to talk about some of the principles that help guide us as we develop this policy. But before that, I want to speak about why I'm personally optimistic about crypto and what it means for the American people. Now, people ask me why I tend to be bullish on the future of innovation in this country. Now, I spent enough time in Silicon Valley to recognize the difference between good tech, technology that boosts our productivity, makes our lives richer, that grounds us in the real world and complements our day-to-day lives. That's the good technology, but there's also some bad technology out there. And when it comes to crypto, I think the last several years have made it clear that we're talking about genuine, ground-up innovation, one that's already improving the well-being of tens of millions of our fellow citizens. I believe it's 50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long.
This AI turns your ideas into complete, ready-to-sell digital products in bulk.
But it's not just about Bitcoin and about the value that's been generated, the wealth that's been generated by so many millions of our fellow citizens. Through decentralized finance, crypto has transformed how Americans transact with one another. It's expanded access to banking for many who may not otherwise have had it. And every single day, I feel like I see some groundbreaking new use of blockchain tech, whether it's in supply chain management, whether it's in hospitals, or whether it's in changing how we track and store patients' private health records. But for each of these new forward-looking applications. I also feel like there's an incredibly value concern.
He just talked about meme coins, innovation, and DeSci, right? And we are in crypto every day, and we're not bullish enough, or at least we don't have that conviction to see beyond what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Technically, we've all become day traders. And what we've done in the community is we've identified 8 projects, and I've published that in the Discord, 8 projects that will have the longevity. And as part of my research, guys, I went through, tons of, I spent hours on researching the .com bubble. Now, whether you're in crypto for this cycle, which doesn't make sense really, because again, it takes a couple of good cycles to actually change your fortunes forever. I mean, we will make very good money this cycle, but it's also about coming to realize that they will crash the markets heavily, whether that comes in 2026 or 2027, it remains to be seen. But I'm going to show you a compelling reason as to why this industry is your only chance of actually having a plan. Like I said, I've got 8 projects that we've identified that we will come back for in the next bear market. And it may seem like a year away to some of you, 2 years away. It could be, I don't know, it could be 6 months. It doesn't really matter. But we've got the plan. Why do we need that plan? It's purely because what they're talking about, and I'm going to show you the crypto arms race that's happening, because crypto is going through a cold war. What they're fighting for is who's going to innovate on this technology, because they understand, not many people know, but the US government can identify and block your wallet if they choose to do so. So crypto, again, it is about decentralization, openness, but behind all of that, there's an element of control. And for those of us that are on this live stream tonight, if we can have a plan in the near future to participate in what these guys are talking about, then I think we stand a massive chance of freeing ourselves from the shackles of control. And largely, even though they are starting to control crypto, you've got the vice president giving a speech at the Bitcoin conference talking about meme coins, DeSci, and of course, global reserve currency, which is Bitcoin. Let's continue for a few more minutes, and then I'll show you some of the evidence why nation states are now scrambling to actually buy our favorite assets, basically.
Conservative element to crypto technology, and that's as a hedge. Crypto is a hedge against bad policymaking from Washington, no matter what party is in control. It's a hedge against skyrocketing inflation, which has eroded the real savings rate of Americans over the last 4 years. And as you all know well, it's a hedge against a private sector that's increasingly willing to discriminate against consumers on the basis of their basic beliefs, including their politics. That includes, of course, debanking users for Second Amendment advocacy or for ties to the first Trump administration. In Canada, the government did the same to kill those big truck driver protests in 2022. Less than a week later, they succeeded. The protests, sovereignty, of innovation, and of prosperity, or will we let unelected bureaucrats and foreign competitors?
Right. So, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because of this, right? Somebody who's uninformed is going to be a bad investor as always. What is this all about, you may ask? Why are we doing all of this? Again, beyond looking at the long-term future of crypto in general, is the dollar's global reserves role at risk after the Moody's downgrade? Moody's was quite topical a week ago. Now, no one's talking about it, but it is topical, right? The domination of the next global reserve currency is what these guys are planning right? And they want that innovation to be in the US. Of course, that's why I've been saying, you know, kind of exchanges like Coinbase and Base ecosystem plays. I think they will be pretty big, just purely because of the size of the market and the hunger to take innovation to the United States. But I want to share another thing with you before we move on to our so anyway. So basically, the Genius Act is coming at the back of such news. So what you're starting to notice now, everybody. I mean, I'm here in the UAE, and I can use crypto for my daily life, right? I can use stable coins. You know, I can use whatever, right? And 5 years ago, it wasn't the case. So you actually now starting to see, and again, if we get a decent bear market and the chance to at least own one whole Bitcoin from our gains, I think this is going to be the cycle that we go nuts. Now, let's go back to Altseason. I'll come to your questions in a minute. And of course, we'll talk about projects. Starting off, just a quick update. This week, we saw the huge recovery. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, do let me know. But the recovery here has been absolutely insane. You know, community either back in profit on most of the Sui ecosystem plays. And of course, Sui's TVL is skyrocketing right now. But the ecosystem's still pretty cheap, in my opinion. Okay. I wanted to take you through some TVLs so that you understand what each project protocol represents. You think about Sui's 1.78 billion or 1.6 billion TVL, and you look at Base, and all of a sudden you start to realize, holy crap, this is way more bigger than obviously we expect, right? It is huge, and most of that is in TVL from different chains like Aerodrome Finance. Now, luckily, we bought the bottom of Aerodrome, and I think still does very well. And then you've got Morpho as the two largest ones. But if you look at the 7-day change on Aerodrome, it's down about 3%, okay? But on the month, it's up 21%. Morpho has recovered to 71%. But where else is this money at? Moonwell may have a shout. And I think Moonwell's ability to actually do the on-ramp, off-ramp credit card facility, that could be, I mean, we've seen Zibek, who we posted in the Discord at a microcap, go to over $400 million. So you're starting to see some of these big protocols and some of the ones that are still very, very much undervalued. Now, a friend of mine was asking me about Extra Finance. I have actually posted Extra Finance previously, but the problem is there's no liquidity. It's got 66 million TVL. But this is a place where I'm still farming. Alien Base's TVL is only $28 million. Still a very good micro cap, in my opinion. And of course, we will do the same for Base because, for Sui, because in this case, when Cetus got hacked, people wanted alternatives. And as a result, the TVL of Bluefin has grown to about $190 million. Navi and Sui lend neck and neck always. And the funny thing is, Navi Protocol, both of these are still relatively undervalued. So in the wake of the Cetus hack, some of the money ran into the other protocols. Okay. So what you're seeing here is Sui Lend leads the way with $625 million. Then you got Navi Protocol, Bluefin, Heydao, which is on the Binance Alpha, and Scalab. Scalab is actually very good for market cap versus TVL ratio. It's absolutely brilliant. And then other ones, of course, AlphaFi, Cetus Protocol. Despite the fact that they're pumping money back into it, this was like the third largest protocol on the Sui network, and it's now is on Binance now. Oh, thank you, Pratik. Hadil is now on Binance, of course. And look at that. The ones that have been drained. Look at DeepBook and look at Cetus. Of course, Turbo's Finance is an interesting one because it really never gained traction. There was tons and tons of sales on Bybit. It is actually registered or listed on Bybit, I should say. But that is literally the way it's looking right now. So again, some of these are still way undervalued. Korea is a smaller one. And then, of course, Microcap FlowX Finance, which we posted in the Discord at a very, very small market cap. It is only available through the Sui wallet. Blue Move catches my eye as well. But that's the state of play. So Sui still has way, way more to grow, in my opinion. All right. So those are the two kind of chains that I look at the most. Of course, and this is why Memecoins on Ethereum make all the sense. The largest protocol, the most liquid, the computer smart contract layer globally for crypto. And this is why we're going to see projects like Memecoins like Cocoro, the smaller ones, do really well here. Okay, so more stable coins than anything else. I mean, ETH is absolutely, my prediction for ETH is going to be anything between kind of 8,000 to about 12,000. I'd probably say, yeah, 8 to 12,000 should be realistic for ETH this cycle. Okay, so that's some of the alpha that I've got for you today. And of course, I've got more to come. And I will now turn into your questions. I see some questions coming in, and I will answer those before we call it a night. Aptos versus... so look, when you look at something like Aptos, you've really, really got to have your VC hat on, okay? So somebody also then commented and said that Sonic and Say are way better than Aptos. Now, you might have a point, but what is Aptos doing and where are they focusing their energy on? So the Aptos wallet is really, really interesting because sometimes it's way too easy to dismiss a project. Of course, this has, I think, this quadruple bottomed. And the way naturally the whales will think is that they will see this as a small cap, sorry. So in terms of rotations, it's not really up to like you and I to decide where it goes in terms of the overall money. But if you think about money going from, let's say, the bigger ones like Solana and then into Sui into then what? Then you've got the three smaller ones, the three small, well-known layer ones. Maybe add Monad to that list, right? Then you've actually got four that would be all about the same size. So the biggest one out of those is Aptos at $3 billion, heavily VC, and it had a horrendous run so far because everybody thought the move side of things, it will go and run with Sui or Sui. Then obviously they have Aptos, Sonic, Say, and then add Monad to that list. And those are your kind of like 4 smaller layer ones for VC rotation. Okay. So when you look at what Aptos are doing, is it's all about their wallet and it's all about stable coins. And I'm led to believe that they are active in the stablecoin regulation. And this is why make your move really, that basically means make your move in your move programming language, but move your money. Okay. So the idea that Aptos is out of the question so far, I don't subscribe to. I think they will run it. I think they see this as a like how we see a small cap for sure. And the only interesting thing I want to make you aware is the details of the Aptos wallet. Because the Aptos wallet has, I think they have a credit card or card facility in there. And this is what they're focusing on, the financial internet and stable coins. So that's really where they are. Whereas, of course, you've got Say that was initially meant to focus purely on DeFi, and they've pivoted to DeSci as well. So this is what they're doing. And if I can show you the Aptos wallet, have a look at it, because the Aptos wallet has some integrations. I think that might surprise few people. And it's specifically, I'm referring to the Petra wallet. So this is where most of the innovation is going into. Get in with their stablecoin regulators, and then of course integrate everything into this Aptos wallet. And inside that one wallet, they've got credit cards, stablecoins, and all kinds of activities. But the comparison would be, so remember when we look at these big layer ones, we got to compare them to the other layer ones in the same class. So a competitor would be Say. Who backs Say is Circle. And of course, Say is the main kind of, again, smaller layer one, $1 billion market cap. This probably has a chance of a 20x return compared to what I consider to be maybe Aptos is, 10x returns. Okay. And the reason why VCs don't really care, it has better, tokenomics, 50% circulation, very good volume, and of course, massive backing, and they will rotate into that before they come for our micro caps, right? So ultimately, when you're making a choice on a layer one between Sui, Sui now 12 billion, 14 billion, whatever it is always important to know that money is going to come to you after the rotation from the Bitcoin dominance, large caps, of course, then they will start farming these. But what's really interesting is the backers here. I think they will run this up. You've got Circle and Coinbase, of course, Multicoin Capital as well. So if you're one of these people holding, the only thing is, I actually believe that similar in that category, I would throw in Kaspa. And I think, Kaspa has been fully diluted and possibly lack of listings will send Kaspa higher. Okay. So if you're considering a large layer one at these market caps, that's probably the 5 that I would look at. Aptos, rule it out unless they really are, unless they're going to create a huge buzz with the integration of the regulated USDT, USDC into their wallets, and then spearhead, because I know they've got a leading personality in the US government. I forgot his name now, but I don't know if it's the Treasury Secretary or whoever. And then, of course, the thing about Sonic, formerly known as Phantom. Again, similar price, but probably the best tokenomics of the lot because it's been around the longest. This is a rebrand of Phantom. It's fully diluted. It's a big layer one. And what the main difference here is, these guys actually pay developers to build on their side. So if you consider this, maybe going to 20 billion, potentially, similar to Say, maybe Say, about the same region, and maybe Aptos goes to 50 billion from where it is right now. So that's the comparison. But what Sonic Labs have done in this rebrand is, and they've got tons of shit coins and all of the things you would associate with a large layer one. But I want to show you something here. For the builders. For developers, they've got something for developers. I think that's quite enticing, because if you could actually pay the fees to the developers and pay them good fees, and 90% of your app's fees. This is what I was talking about, and this is purely, and I think this is the only chain that's doing this. So Sonic lets builders earn 90% of the network fee apps generated, creating substantial revenue stream without relying on fundraising. And that is going to attract builders. Inspired by Web2 models like YouTube, theme, rewards, developers for the traffic they drive into the chain. So really, if you're really looking at a layer one that could perhaps, fully diluted, that could capture some some buzz and a hype, I think Sonic is well placed. So that is kind of like looking at yours, Joseph question and Crypto Live's question as well. Okay, bro said Zeus, Pepe's dog, CC8, blue chip meme, good entry at $9 million market cap. So this is a question that I had, and this is an interesting one, right? So you've got two communities going head to head. I'm in the CCA camp only because of the fact that the wallets are not bundled. The Cabal, the ETH one, or the other one, they're both on ETH, has absolutely tons and tons of, it's just crazy. But listen, this had sorry, not this. This Pepe's dog. Just put Pepe's dog. So this had a sharp correction. It has recovered a bit, but today, people were panicking about this Memecoin, and for me anyway, I've only got a small amount in there. My Cocoro bag is actually a lot bigger. So I would say, right now, what they have is the connection with the owner of the actual dog, right? They've got the owner of the dog, and again, it's more of a community, really, and it's still on DEX. So I do believe, listen, these will do well regardless, but it's almost like the Nero situation where there was a bit of a battle going on. But I think the CC8, for me anyway, from what I've seen in the community, is going to be doing just fine. And of course, today was the day we had a lot of listings whilst we were on the subject of meme coins. Cocoro got a listing of both LBank and MEXC. MEXC Global, again, it's very, very small, but they've both been accumulating off the market. They did not pay, the team did not pay them to list these, to get these two listings. So that tells you a lot. And the thing about this dog is that some people are impatient, of course. Some people are saying, why isn't this going to billions right now? Sorry, yeah. So people are saying, why is it not running yet? But look at the chart. The chart is incredible. It's mental. Honestly, by the time, look, at the end of the day, you don't even have, right? You don't even have these listings confirmed on here. But 5.2 is pretty cheap, in my opinion. So the other problem to address here is that some people have been saying that Cocoro team is promoting other projects and it kind of dilutes it. And I understand the concern, right? I do understand the concern, because what you want is one solid push on one particular project, right? But that's not, that's not anyone's fault. It's going to take care. Look, cream always rises to the top. And I do believe, let me just show you the amount of activity they're doing. So look, this thing is just getting started, guys. It really is just, in my opinion, it's just about to get its first 2 listings, be some volume, and other exchanges are watching it, in my opinion. And sorry, guys, by the way, hi to every single one of you. So what my expectation on this is having just enough believe, and so far seeing the momentum, looking at the chart, and just diamond hands. You've got nothing to lose here. And of course, Binance is being spammed, Vitalik is being spammed. And if you said a week ago, I mean, listen, at the moment, the market is not in a kind of like it's not going crazy, right? So the MEXC listing today, as per usual, they listed it, of course, got the trade going, and then they announced it, and that's how they do it. Yeah, I mean, this is another thing today that I reposted. they just had a meeting, but at the end of the day, guys, this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning for Cocoro, and we will talk about the links over here. So HTX are basically the root of Nero, right? Yeah, big up Brandon. Brandon in the building as well. Got that chat community here. So basically, this is the beginning. So when you look at volume, when you consider crazy volume, you really got to see places like HTX. And that's where Binance and all of these others will absolutely go ballistic for this. And for me, sorry, I'm going to show you something else as well. Yeah, this post here is one of my favorites, because that's all it is, right? Which one of these CEOs, right, including the bold guy, which one of these guys is going to list? It's actually a very good way of actually promoting the promoting the project. Of course, like I said, I would love to see just pure focus on the black ship, right? It just goes so well together. I don't give a shit about all of these other small meme coins that are popping up, Doge's cousin and his sister's cousin's boyfriend and all these other things coming out. It should be one focus on Cocoro, and that should be what comes out of ship, in my opinion. You got to be real with this. You can't be promoting tons and tons of projects through Shiba Inu. I support this project wholeheartedly with my own money, with my own creative skills. Every day I talk about it. I'm in the community. I'm active in it. But for me, anything that takes away from, because look, think about it. We've got a superstar on our hands, right? Let's run this into the billions. And I'm talking to the community. I'm talking to the dev. I'm talking to the teams. This is going to be, and I would honestly, I would suggest anyone who thinks that Cocoro is not going to go to 1 billion is absolutely deluded, because it's a unique project with a unique community, and that's what you want. But having said that, I do not want to dilute the attention the urgency, the way we've been going as a community, and that's a good thing. We've got to, I have a platform. I can voice my concerns, and this has been raised. This was raised in my Discord, guys. 2 exchanges. It's just the start. It's actually not on 2 exchanges right now. Cocoro is on, I think about 6 exchanges altogether. 4 previously plus the 2 today. And the FOMO for me, whales don't really look into things until they get to $100 million. That's what whales do. The big money, your 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 buys. And by the way, one of the community members today posted the start and the current holdings of MEXC and LBank. And it's hundreds of thousands. They've been accumulating while we've been looking at the chart. So if you're obviously one of these people that are impatient, what you want is an organic chart. You want an organic, sustainable chart that builds floors before it moves up. Now, of course, we've already run up to $30 million market cap. Naturally, you would think that's the next floor. In my opinion, when the market conditions turn and just ETH starts pushing, what I expect to see is the new floor being minimum $50 to $60 million. And then from that, it goes into the billions. Oh, sorry, hundreds of millions, maybe smash past 100 million. Of course, a lot of people will always, paper hands will always sell out. You can't really legislate for that. But what you can do is just sit tight, relax, and just don't be a day trader, man. Because if you're day trading these things, you're going to be that one guy that always looks at his portfolio, and whatever you sold just does a 5 to 10x the day you sell it. That's how the crypto gods work like that. The one token you sell is the one that does a 50x. And that's facts. Straight facts. So basically, the news came out this morning. And of course, I know how I know how they work over there in MEXC. So what they will do is they will list and then trade and then announce, right? They've got to do that. It's kind of like a stealth launch anyway. But again, LBank is a top 20 centralized exchange. And of course, this is obviously a massive achievement for the community. Matter of time before a T1 like HTX starts to list the black ship. Of course, they are killing us with the, this is a quite brilliant announcement. Got to big up the team for this. This is pretty good. The dark ship in front of LBank. So that's pretty good. Damn. And then, of course, after that, MEXC followed up with their confirmation. I also made a video today. And again, this was the opening candle. These green, what we call green dildo candles, man, these will come consecutively. It was just beautiful. I took a screenshot because, again, I wasn't rushing over there to kind of sell this. So yeah, that's what's up, guys. That is the update on Cocoro. And hopefully, if we're patient enough and if we're focused enough as a community, I think we can send this thing to the billions, in my opinion. When people like Crypto Galaxy tell you that Pepe is going to go into 100 billion, 200 billion, whatever they do, guys, man, you buy early. We bought this before the exchanges. So yeah, big up to the team. Continue focusing on it. And of course, definitely, I can only see one direction right now. And that one direction is a new floor being formed quite quickly. And this is the only chart that has healthy pullbacks. And honestly, what will happen is, if we look at, I gave you the example anyway the other day of how these meme coins move, I want to show you some kind of like crazy thing that happened with Pepe. So I was in Pepe March, April 23, right? If I show you the Binance listing, you won't even believe. So let me zoom into this chart. The Binance listing was right here. Got listed, last week of April. And look at this, 4th of May, boom. And we thought, so I sold a significant bag. Never forget, man, I was driving from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, and I saw the listing. And I was like, yo, my portfolio just looks absolutely strange right now. Let me pull over to the next gas station. Pulled out the wallet, saw this thing on Binance, and I had the pleasure of sending that from my wallet into Binance and taking a big chunk out over there. And I thought I was winning. And I was winning because I got into Pepe, like I said, in March 2023. By April, started to have dips. And what the Cocoro chart's going to look like, right, is this bit here. These are the little dips. This is what we're seeing right now. And we don't even have this kind of volume yet, right? And then all of a sudden, volume started to go nuts on the major listings, i.e. HTX here. And at Binance listing, it peaked at $1.67 billion. But look at the epic crash. Look at this Pepe crash, man. Right? So everybody thought Pepe was done. So what I've done was, okay, I wrote this. I sold actually about 60% of my bag. And I kind of just waited. Now, towards the summer and in September, Pepe's all-time lows came. Look, all the way into kind of like, it did nothing for nearly a year. So if you're holding Pepe here, the volume goes from 1.6 billion. And this, by the way, this is a lesson on meme coins, right? 1.67 billion into $35 million here. Look at this. 25 million, 33 million, 27. Look at this. Then volume slowly comes back into it. And then you had bang and another bang. And look where the top is. So while I was actually selling my bag, right, to a 7, 8, 9, $10 billion, $12 billion volume, right? Now, I'm not going to say, Cocoro is going to do a Pepe, right? Like, that's the market is different right now. But we just need to do what Nero did in its previous run. And Nero will absolutely surge after SHIB, right? So even if you look at here and you see the volume of 1 billion in that first small listing, look where the peaks are, man. And that's the power of meme coins. So we're gonna have to be like bro is saying, stick with the plan, trust the process, get the community to focus, and hopefully we can at least, some of us will buy Lambos, some of us will spend the money in strip clubs. The financially illiterate will blow their money, and some of us will actually keep stable coins and come back and kill it in the next bear market. Will Binance be available in the US? I think so, bro. I missed the Cocoro entry. I'll buy at 10 million market cap. Well, yeah, let's just hope that it, I doubt if it'll go to $10 million market cap, but if obviously the market corrects heavily, then we have already seen the example that I gave you with Pepe, and it can absolutely correct for sure. Yeah, Brandon said the dark ship will reign again. The cycle 1 billion. Cocoro on ETH is an absolute king. Yes, I agree with you, brother. So Caveman, Rafa, I hope you're well, brother. Just gonna go through your comments. Hadil is on Binance now, fully listed. Amazing stuff. B3 on base. Yeah, that's a solid one. It's still very small though. How high do you think ETH can go this cycle, brother? I think ETH gets to around, minimum at least $8,000 to about $12,000. Steve, bro. Steve said, bro, look into Dude. Yeah, let's have a look at Dude now. By the way, guys, are we getting any likes? We got 197 watching the live. That is absolutely incredible turnout. This is Doodles, $26 million market cap. Chart looks a bit. Yeah, it probably had some unlocks. It's on Solana. I think we looked into this one before, right? See what their shop is like. Where is this? Connected to Shopify or something? Collectibles, kids, apparel. So back on the 9th of May, this is absolutely rocking. It's all right. It looks pretty bottomed anyway. From a chart perspective, $26 million market cap. What's the volume saying? Very good volume, actually. Very, very good volume. $10 million. And I know if Gate is on it, one thing I love about Gate, I hate using Gate.io, but Gate.io has the best volume of the small exchanges. CoinW is pulling in about 2.2 million, Gate.io nearly 3 million, Bybit 600K. So yeah, man, the chart looks bottom. The tokenomics are not bad. And they've obviously got decent exchange listings as well. Wicked, bro. I think, to the brother that said, he was too late for Cocoro, I don't think you are. I think it's still very, very tiny for the market cap. I have no interest in ML, bro. I have actually made community announcements of making a decision about the long-term viability of some projects. Again, so yeah, I don't have any currently. I don't have any ML, and I don't plan to buy any. Purely because it's just literally it doesn't really work, man. There is no Bitcoin DeFi on it. And Belter said 12K ETH will be unbelievable. Yeah, I think even looking at the technical analysis, ETH to 12K is actually not a fantasy. It can happen. Because what you have with ETH is a lot of institutional demand. Right now, ETH is obviously going to be the main reason why we will take market share from Bitcoin. And you can just see there's so much to go on the upside for ETH. Sorry, somebody was asking me about Kai Network. Sorry, not this. Sorry, let me just quickly check the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's have a look at this on the weekly. It's funny because like I say this all the time, man, you've not really enjoyed crypto unless you've witnessed this or this. Everything else we've had is no drop on Bitcoin dominance for the last God knows how many years. No drops of significant values anyway. So that's why I watch this thing like you won't believe. I mean, look what we've been celebrating so far. Tiny Bitcoin drops. And this is pre-election pump just right here. What do we have? 3 weekly red candles on the Bitcoin dominance. And everybody was like, oh, I need to sell my bags. Oh, sorry, I need to hold my bags now for the 100x. But what I'm expecting to happen for us, that's if they really, really, really want people to make money this cycle. Bitcoin dominance now struggling below all average moving indicators. And on the 4 hourly or on the daily, we've got this drop right here, right? So what we don't want to do is to claim the ascending channel again and flip the red line here, 64% or 64.5% as a dominant support to go to my ultimate danger zone, which is that yellow line there, which is about 70% for Bitcoin dominance. I think if that happens, a lot of people will just... I think people will quit crypto. I genuinely there's retail sentiment right now is at an all-time low. So just imagine Bitcoin dominance now all of a sudden spiking to these levels. We are absolutely and utterly effed. But what we want to do now is come down to the 50, right? Which is this blue line here. Break that and hopefully smash the rest of it all the way to here. I don't really see fireworks until we get below or at 60% and below. That's when we're going to be absolutely insane, guys. Support this stream, please. Smash a like, follow the channel, and let's effing go. Crypto Live said, can you check out STB? Sure, brother. Is it stables? $5 million in TVL, 3 million in volume, 2 million market cap, 16 million FDV. It's on Solana. Let's see what it is. Once upon a time, I used to run to Solana. Now, every project that I see, I'm just like, oh man, what is going on? Integrations with OKX wallet, pretty standard, and Jupiter. Well, you have to be integrated into Jupiter. So I'm not impressed by that. Provide liquidity, ultra efficient pools. And they still have token unlocks as well. I have to admit, not the most sexiest of kind of narratives. There, competition here is very stiff. You got the likes of J2O or Gito. You got a lot of, Solana DeFi is tough. But what I would say is 500 million, right, tokens, of which only 61 million are circulating. I think, we're going to have to look at their vesting schedule to see if we can actually push that for a short time. Hello, bro. Thoughts on ZBCN, yeah, did 4x on it. Congratulations, bro. I actually posted that in our Discord as a microcap, and I remember doing a video on it as well, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, very good project, bro. Because it's got real world use case. It's pretty good. Oh, sorry, I think let me just look at B3. Maybe I looked at this a while ago. Yeah, 90 million market cap. Now, when did I look at this? Can't remember, man. Was this one? 15 million volume. Fully diluted 300 million. This is like the gaming, the future of gaming. There's actually a lot bigger market cap recently as well, right? I love gaming narrative. It's just unfortunately it's been very, very slow. But yeah, this should do well. It's actually got very big volume and massive volume there. Loving the late night shows. Yeah, this is like my fourth video today. Like 4 times. I think I've done 3 videos and 1 live stream in one day. Thank you so much. Big up Fuad as well. Big up the Caveman. Caveman has been absolutely outstanding in the Cocoro community. What a brother, man. Bro, we have to get the Cocoro community to give you recognition right there, because you have been absolutely incredible. Yeah, Based AI, bro. Based AI are not really releasing a lot of news, right? This is why meme coins do so well, because this is the attention economy. And if you have a team that is not pumping out tons of marketing, doing AMAs, there's a project that, you guys have been requesting for me to do an AMA with. I've reached out to them. They haven't even come back to the message. Then we've got others that are lining up, and we can't even find the schedule to do AMAs. We've got next week, we've got Alephium coming up. And these guys have not, and I repeat, they have not done what they're supposed to do in terms of marketing this project. And unfortunately now, sadly, the volume here is only $142,000. I've got meme coins pulling in 10 times more volume than that. So that's the problem right there, bro. It's the attention economy. You've got AI, you've got the Nvidia news today. I mean, look how the market is reacting to Nvidia news, right? Let's look for example, any AI project you look at is slightly green today because of the news, despite the market going the other way, right? So yeah, that's what they got to do. They've got to pull their finger out, in my opinion. Nathan Jackson, what's up, brother? Love your work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Stayex, RWA narrative. I haven't seen Stayex in ages, man. I was excited about the launch and the pre-sale. So this was meant to have, I think, a Microsoft backing as well, if I remember correctly. I mean, this is ages ago. This is ages ago, man. Stayex. Let me just find them. Is that the ticker? Stayex. Preview only. Have they not launched it? They did come to the market, didn't they? Yeah, they meant to. Obviously, this launched ages ago. ESX. Let's see if I can find them as ESX. It's the same ticker. Yeah, nah, not really gonna push on that one, bro. It did look really interesting at the beginning, but that was like 23, 24 when I looked into it as well. Punky's excellent, Goldmine, and Ski Mask will do very well as well. Two very good meme coins. Okay, they haven't launched yet. Sorry, man. I thought they did. Because I remember doing this last year. Tokenized real estate. And I do believe they had, or they mentioned Microsoft links. Let me just share the website with you. Yeah, this has been, I thought they would have, honestly, that's actually quite concerning now. Because I don't understand why they haven't launched this. And it's they've been advertising this for years. Yeah, that's it. Wow, they haven't actually launched. I hope there's no perpetual pre-sale like BlockDAG or something like that, because that would be very concerning. But they obviously claim that they have good partnership with Microsoft. They've got Doc's team endorsements. Is the team doxed? Whenever advice to any founders or team, any serious teams watching the live stream tonight, you've really got to dox yourselves. There should always be a section in a website that says team, because without that, boy oh boy. But look, I am actually concerned. I'm really concerned that they haven't actually launched this long, Nathan. And why? Because I looked at this at 23, 24, mostly 24. And I've talked about this. I think I've done a video on this. And it was one of the first or the earliest RWA pre-sales that I can think of. And I have a sneak feeling that the team behind this is behind two other projects in crypto right now. An AI project and an old school, I forgot what it was, but interesting. Look, if they can deliver what they said, I don't like these things. I don't like USA, USA Today or Forbes. That is frivolous, right? So we have to kind of critique this. For me, yeah. But yeah, we have to obviously check them out. But I wouldn't ape into it. Stevie, what's up, brother? Hope you're well. You gotta like JD Vance. Good question here. Do I expect rate cuts? Absolutely not. Not next month anyway. Trump has been in to see, obviously, we don't know what they're talking about. But myself, the market, none of us are predicting, at least the market is not pricing in rate cuts for next month. I did actually post a lot of macro data. It's one of the best ever Discord and Patreon posts that I've ever made. The Tariffinator. Jeez. Right. Okay. So now that obviously you've pushed me to the macro direction, bro, we're going to have to talk about the macro just real quick so everybody knows where we are. So, major development in global trade politics. 28th, federal court blocked Trump's proposal for tariffs, ruling that the IEEPA, or the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, does not authorize the president to unilaterally impose broad tariff. Only Congress holds that power. So for those of you that know one or two things about politics, we're talking about separation of powers. So block tariffs 30% on China, 25% on Mexico and Canadian goods, 10% universal tariff. Now there's rumors out there now, I haven't actually verified, but that it's been overturned. The court concluded no acute emergency to justify the move. There is no war, no major trade collapse, and therefore, and also the constitutional side of things. The Trump's team responded swiftly, filing an appeal, claiming that these tariffs are vital to economic defense and national security, citing Nixon's 1971 tariff precedent. An appeal timeline. The Federal Circuit Court appeals average is 6 to 12 months, with 9.7 months as the medium. High-profile status could accelerate or delay this. Expect a ruling in mid-26. Now, that could already, that's why Powell was in there today, right? There's other things going on behind the scenes. The market was slightly positive. The dollar strengthened a bit. Gold dropped about 1% off the back of that news, right? Short-term rally, import costs seem safer for now, right? But this is not guaranteed. Be aware Trump's appeal may reignite volatility, especially in commodities, equities, and, of course, currency markets. And my take was, it's almost like Trump wants to engineer a bear market here before November. Now, if something, the tariffs will not go away, guys, right? Until he gets what he wants, that's going to loom over us. This is no longer a trade policy. It's a power struggle. And that's why Powell was called in today for an emergency meeting. The tarifinator versus the federal courts. The real question is, will this ruling will this ruling calm markets long enough for true Altseason to ignite? And this is where I got the thesis that if we get a pump in the next 60 to, next 30 days to 60 days maximum, take something off the table, because this shit is way too, to sit back again at the bottom is going to be absolutely disgraceful. These tariffs are not going away, and that's what's happening. Okay. So that was one of my updates. The other update was something that most people were missing, which was the press release. Now, this press release, the notes, came from the committee's meeting on the 6th to the 7th of May. Okay? So even though the news came out on May 28th, right, this was done at a time when the tariffs were heavy in the markets, right? So Trump is funny, man. So in the 2 weeks preceding that, and before this report or these minutes, he reversed a bunch of tariffs, or reduced or delayed or put a pause on them. And basically, this was what happened. By the way, if you want to get these in real times, join our community for just $9 a month. For fuck's sake, this stuff comes in real time. We work on this. So you don't need to. This is 2 days later that I'm talking about, but the VIPs had this straight away, right? So your question, bro, which is an excellent question, what rate cuts do you expect? So let's take the Trump-Powell meeting today as an anomaly, because something is going on for sure. And, of course, we got to look at this in number of different ways. The minutes, the key takeaways were rate cuts, expectations plunge. Because we were expecting 4 rate cuts, markets now pricing just 2 rate cuts in 2025, down from 4 earlier this year. That's a big shift driven by inflation, stickiness, tariff, and of course, political policy uncertainty. Correlation breakdown. Some Fed officials noted that weird asset correlations back in April. It's a shift. If this shift sticks or the US loses its perceived safe haven status, it could have serious long-term impacts. Now, of course, you got to remember in that time as well, Moody's downgrade came along. The story of our cycle is we are now way too in bed with macroeconomics and particularly Trump. So tariff trouble. Staff noted that tariffs are dragging harder on economic activity than previously assumed. The Fed is actively revising its forecast based on these policies. Okay, liquidity swap lines renewed. So the Fed, right over here, the Fed renewed its dollar, and of course, FX swap lines are signed that they want to keep liquidity open, internationally, and usually a precautionary step during the times of uncertainty. This was my take. This is exactly what we expected, okay? And these are the rules of the games. The handbrakes, there are 3. And on the Fed, which are Trump's tariffs, which are literally ping pong, right? Unclear economic direction, sticky inflation, and of course, Trump's strategy of making announcements, then walking them back is a calculated fog machine. But make no mistake, markets hate fog. The Fed won't move until things clear. And a reminder would be these minutes are early for May, and the Trump, of course, postponed some of the aggressive targets in anticipation of the report that came out yesterday. Since then, yields dropped and sentiment has improved a little bit. Consumer confidence blowout, the CP. And by the way, tomorrow we're going to get another macro reading. So it's going to be an interesting day. CP index jumped from 98 to 86. Expectations surged to 72.8 from 55.4. Biggest 1 month jump in expectations since 2008 crisis lows. So why is that? Basically, the market is adjusting to tariffs, the tariff risks, not pricing it out. And of course, it's leaning to navigate, or it's learning to navigate it better. So we have to live with tariffs for now. But if the man tweets, you know what happens. So what now? We will remain in volatile macro fog, as Richmond Fed's Barkin puts it. It's like driving through fog, very hard. So obviously, that is the difficulty that the Fed is going to hide behind. It's hard for the Fed to and it's even harder for us, of course, as investors. And this is why we stay flexible. What's the game plan? Watch for a drop in Bitcoin dominance. That's our opening. Take some stuff off the table during the strong summer pumps. Expect a pullback post-June or July, maybe July or something like that. If there's a heavy pullback, we could be in a position to reallocate into quality plays during that dip. And of course, look for a true macro cycle top in Q4 when clarity and potentially rate cuts return. It's all hypothetical right now, but these permutations allow us to stay one step ahead and be flexible at least. So that is it, my friends. You got a lot out of me tonight. Absolutely, it's been amazing. Bro said he believes in next month. Well, if it happens, I will not disagree with you, bro. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I've been in this markets too long to kind of understand, the ultimate setups that they want us to do. I mean, look, one thing I would say is Bitcoin dominance losing more ground is going to be a good start. So guys, smash a like. We've done an hour, 25 minutes. That's absolutely incredible. Time is it for me right now? It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to catch some rest, but I'll let you enjoy some of this. This has been an amazing stream, guys. So yeah, like, subscribe, share. Valuable content. Hours of research goes into it. And of course, a bit of drill music doesn't harm as well. Everyone here, 218 of us, which is incredible. Everyone's going to make money, man. You know, if money is the object, the question is, can you keep it? Because it's going to be all unrealized profits. Yes, family. Night, night. Absolutely. Thank you so much, sister, for supporting. Yeah. You guys can vibe with me if you want to listen to drill music or whatever music. There's no jazz tonight. But yeah, it's been a marathon, man. Wicked, guys. Wish you all a lovely night, and I'll catch you on the next one.